Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Point Park University Esports fans. Welcome to the Frost Whiteout tournament number 67. It may be, a little, what do we call this, on a whim?
A little bit. It might be Frost's Whiteout number 67, but this is actually Point Park University's number 1 Frost Whiteout tournament we have here today. Very exciting. There are 13 teams in this tournament today, I believe.
Let me trying to visualize the bracket in my brain.
Well, you guys can go follow the brackets at home, but I believe there are 13 teams. If I'm
maybe, I'll check it in a second.
We will
15
get
maybe?
back to you on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yes, but very exciting. So the format today is best of 1 until we get to finals, which will be a best of 3, and you can watch that over on Frost Esports.
Right, and I believe
channel.
we will be hosting or rating them.
I think we're rating them,
after.
Yes, at the end. But I know you guys are all here to cheer on Point Park Esports, and some of you might actually have been
Medics.
Yeah, if you're here from the Medics, welcome. Point Park is facing Medics in this first game of the best of 1, so we will be getting those picks and bans in shortly. And then, of course, just waiting for teams to get into the lobby like you see here. Just getting that all set up. But very exciting games coming for you today.
That's right.
And, this was off the whim. Some of you might be like, wow, why is Point Park Esports alive? I thought the Valorant season was over, at least for the fall semester. But here we are.
Nope. We're here.
We're here and we're rolling.
Yeah, I mean, this is a free entry tournament today, but it is a cash prize. So there is a little bit of money on the line.
Not for us.
We don't. Money on the line is in we get a chance to win some.
Not us. I'd be nice.
I mean, you never know. I mean, it's for the team, so we're part of the team. So, I mean, so $70 for first place, $30 for second place, for a total of $100 on today's cup.
Yeah, so if you are one of the 2 lucky teams that do make it to the finals, you will be walking away with a prize, no matter how that best of 3 turns out. But before we get too ahead of ourselves for the finals, let's talk about this matchup we have coming up. Medics versus Point Park University.
Right, so I believe the seeding looks around, I think it's 5 to 12.
Yeah, I think Point Park is seated 12, and Medics are seated 5, so it might be a tough battle. I'm not exactly sure how the seeding's but I would imagine it's based off of rank.
I tried to look it up on the rulebook, and I found nothing. So it might be random.
Or, some places do it based on performance in previous tournaments. And, of course, This is Point Park University's first entrance into this whiteout. And, of course, we did this off the whim. So if it's based on time of sign-up, some places do it that way.
Right, yes.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get a good feeling as we hop into the game. But I know the players are excited. We're excited here. And I hope you guys at home are excited, too.
Now, with Point Park being seeded 12th, unfortunately, that means they do not have a bye in round 1.
Yes.
Which means they are going to be playing one additional game today for a maximum of, say, 6 maps today. So we could be seeing a lot of Valorant.
We could, and hopefully we are. Unfortunately, for half the players per round, this is a single elim tournament. That means that if Point Park does, in fact, lose this game coming up or any games after that until we make it to the best of 3 finals, they unfortunately will be out for this tournament, but...
More to come.
Hopefully, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited you guys are joining us today. But let's not be Debbie Downers. I think Point Park does actually have a chance. They have been still continuing to practice and scrim, just because their fall season is over. Remember, we do have 2 seasons coming up. Again, the NACE season as well as CVAL coming up when we return in January. So lots of good things. And it's nice to see that the players are keeping their skills warmed up, especially as a team.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely never want to fall short, fall cold. I mean, I know that in Rocket League, that was a really big thing with one of those teams taking a little bit too long on their vacation, and they ended up bombing out of a tournament. So it's really, really important to keep those skills, keep practicing, and practice makes perfect. We all know EG.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And we all here know Point Park. Pioneers, you can see, looks like creep there, IGL, just making sure his hair's right before he puts on his headset. Gotta look good, play good.
The headset hair, it doesn't matter as long as the hair's on right first, then the headset goes.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
No, of course.
Or you could be Clark and just have a hat.
You know, that might be the way. You have a hat as well.
I do have a hat.
I missed the memo, I guess.
Well, he's just talking about the hair because, you know the rule about the hair.
You do know the rule, and I believe even though they're not in their same CVAL or NACE Star League season, remember that if Clark gets 2 aces in one game,
one map,
the entire rest of the team has to shave their head. So that might have been Creep there just taking one last look at his luscious locks before Clark. Oh, you know what? That would not be fun right before the holidays.
Oh, true.
Go home bald. No one's expecting. Just surprise everyone.
Yeah, I mean, happy holidays. My head is now cold. And that would not be enjoyable.
That would not be enjoyable. But I think what would be enjoyable would be 2 aces from Clark in one game. So although you might be losing your hair, you're gaining a lot of
some confidence, some content, some wins.
Some context, and you know, that might just be what the Pioneers need to bring them victory today. I think I can definitely say that if Clark got back-to-back victories, I'm sure the rest of the team would be a little bit saddened that they have to shave their head, but I'm sure everyone would be pumped and excited.
For the rest of the game, they're still hype. Yeah,
they're still hype. I mean, that's definitely brings the sort of energy to the table that I can't imagine any other situation.
That's right.
Bring very, very unique energy flowing.
and you know that if those back-to-back aces, or there's even just 2 aces happen in that game, you can believe that you're going to find a clip of that or something on our socials at PPU Esports, at Point Park _Esports, depending on what platform you look at. So we're all over. Make sure that you check us out, and for more Valorant and League of Legends content.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think we will have a QR code popping up later in the screen you can follow, but remember, we're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know if you guys can hear, but you can definitely see on their faces how excited the team is to play. I see good mentality and good vibes, and as we know, as we've seen, at least this semester in the season so far, I mean, we've seen when they feel better, they play better. And it looks like I'm expecting some pretty gnarly plays coming out just looking at the energy in the room right now.
Gnarly? Okay. I guess we're going a little bit back with the with the gnarly word choice. But, you know, I'm all for it. I was trying to think of another word from slightly farther back, but
two-wheeler, dude.
Yes.
Totally two-wheeler.
Anyway,
I don't think Ari liked that one too much, which is why I didn't include that in the original word choice. But you know what I think that the players might actually be feeling pretty good is that in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking about league standings as a whole, this tournament actually doesn't matter. This is a standalone tournament, so it's all or nothing.
Right. It's one day.
It's one day, but in the grand scheme of things, this does not affect their league standings for any sort of collegiate league. Just good practice and fun practice, and there's a prize on the line.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have fun just playing your game, playing Valorant, and they are singing out there. I can hear it.
They are pumped.
What song was it earlier? I think they were singing "I'm Still Standing." I think that was what they were singing earlier. And now I don't know what they're singing.
I can't hear, but I'm wondering. I know a couple times you guys have actually been able to hear Creep, especially. Oh yeah. Just kind of screaming. You could hear it through our mics.
Yeah.
Just slightly. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but definitely.
They will later. They will later.
Sure, they will. I don't know why. I think, I really think just not having that pressure of affecting league standings really, does a lot. And you know what? Just a second ago, I saw Creep there hovering the gecko, and I was excited to actually see.
Oh, did they change the prize pool? I might be getting word that they just changed the prize pool a little bit because of number of teams or stuff like that, or just players in general. But we'll get more on that later when the prize pool becomes, a little bit closer towards that final game. However, we're going to jump right into Haven. That's going to be our map for today. And I do like to see this pick. I do.
I would love if Creep would lock in ISO. Creep has just been baiting me so hard.
Oh. We're not going to say
It's a one-day tourney.
We're not going to
so we do have, though, from Medics, their team comp locked in. Not really a comp that we're strangers to seeing here on Haven as we get the first couple lock-ins from Point Park, and it's just all down to Creep to see who will pick. But it will be Breach in the end, and it looks like nearly mirror comps. Of course, Clark on his comfortable Omen. We have Morbid there on the brim.
Right. I mean, the last time we saw this map of Haven, it wasn't even Point Park's choice, and yet they absolutely dominated. I believe the score was 13-4, 13-5, something like that. And that is absolutely what you love to see if this is the map you're going to end up playing on, and hopefully they can just convert it as well as they did the past times. And you know, we do see that it may say Valorant team up in the top graphic, but that's because we figured out the bracket just a few minutes before going live, so we didn't really get the chance to update those graphics. So that is Medics on the attack.
That is Medics on the attack, and you know what that means? Point Park is starting on defense now. We've seen some good things from Point Park on defense. It's been a while. I know they've been working on their strategies and things, and it looks like we got a nice little Jet Sova here on that A site, which is really typically where you see teams kind of push that first round, but it looks like that's not what Medics are electing to do. They're electing to go straight up C, but that Molly is going to stop them a little bit. Only Hayden on site.
That's a really, really big split, though, as Cursed separates one off, but is getting spammed through the smoke right now, down to just one bullet left, and the plant's going to go out for long. It's going to enable this team. Ooh, a shock dart kill from Ascetic. That's really, really big, and players are starting to fall on the side of Point Park. Celsi going to able to get one just to even it up a little bit. Celsi on the Jet, by the way. I don't know if we noticed that quite yet, but yeah, that's a little new. And this player is spotted.
That is new, and yes, the player spotted, and I don't want to take away from the game. Kazuno with a nice flank there in Garage, gonna clean up those last two. Celsi, as actually I think we typically see on that Sky.
Yeah, either the Sky or the Sova, and I believe they're swapping some things up today. So,
but this is a perfect place to do it. This is still a tournament. This is still for a prize pool, and it does still mean something. But it's a nice way to get some of those kinks out that you might be, thinking about later. Sunseri on that Sova, Sunseri, that star duelist we see is kind of flipping, and we see a lot of. We've talked about Sun Celsi in the past, and we might be seeing a different Sun Celsi coming out to play today.
That's exactly right, and that past round. It would have been really nice to see Cursed get out, because he didn't know that he isolated the player out with those mollies, but there is a solid good chance if that molly pop does go out, you're in a 1v2, 1v1 scenario, and this flash is big as Cursed is going to be able to find that first pick of this round. And yes, Bomb's going to go down, but they do have numbers when it comes to trying for this retake. That's a big, big smoke, though. And 3 players spotted on site. Trade's going down. Hayden's able to get the best and able to get 4 on the round. 2-0, Medics.
And look how close Morbid was to falling there. Pretty good save run. Not only did they get that pick, they were able to recover that gun. Unfortunately, only able to take out 2 of Medics players.
Yeah.
For a team called Medics, it looks like they don't have a medic.
That's true. There are no healers on the side of either team on Haven here, but that is traditional.
Maybe that is traditional, but I would just assume for a team called Medic. Maybe they're called Medics because they don't need a medic.
True.
And their opponents need medics.
Well, we're about to find out, as this is Point Park's kind of big gun round, and the bonus for Medics here, and this is going to be a B site hit. Bomb already going down, so Point Park, the first 3 rounds, going to be playing off-site, and Morbid getting the first pick on a Sunseri. That's really, really, really big, as that is a gun in the hands, and Creep going down as well. So that's really shambles for Point Park here. And yes, the first pick goes out, but Clark's going to clear his left. Not going to do that. And Ascetic and Hayden getting their respective picks, making it 3-0 Medics.
3-0 Medics. That was just unfortunate, and I think that might have come down to a little bit of positioning there that last round, but only down by 3. We've seen them actually turn around a more dramatic disparity, point disparity there, or round disparity, I should say. So not looking too bad yet, but definitely want to start making some kind of headway as they do go into the save round.
And yeah, with Point Park, what I want them to see is to stay on site while they are getting hit. And that we've seen kind of that medics are playing really, really fast. And if you don't see a player on your site right away, chances are they're hitting a different site. And that's exactly what's happening is on C, these players are all the way up already. And this is another situation where Point Park is playing retake with no players down. And Curse is actually just going to fall. And it's much, much tougher to win this round. But Creep finding 2 nice Sheriff shots and looking for a third. The flash comes out, and what a shot! The shot's coming back at him, but that's 3 on the round 4. Creep, and all of a sudden, they have numbers advantage. Yes, the breach ult online for medics, but time ticking now.
Yeah, and that is going to actually be a rifle recovered. Beautiful shots coming in from Creep there with the Sheriff. Going to get one more by Sunsarian.
Wow.
Getting his 4th. Going to be able to go in for the defuse. And what a thrifty that was.
Look at Creep. Look at him. That is the insane pop-off round that you absolutely love to see. And I believe that was a thrifty. Yep, and every player had a Sheriff there. So the fact that they were able to retake with Sheriffs, get that round under control is really, really amazing.
The Sheriff is such a good... If you can hit your headshots, the Sheriff is such a good gun. And like we saw there, Creep, 3 easy ones from Garage. Excellent positioning, excellent crosshair placement. And he played so calm and collected, and I mean that was huge, and able to recover a couple rifles there, so not gonna have to invest that econ coming into the next round. Of course though, with that 3-0 lead earlier, medics are still going to be able to buy, so they're gonna have to do that again, but that was beautiful.
And yeah, now you're gonna see something a little bit different from medics here. It's gonna be a little bit of a default, all players spread throughout the map, but maybe they do have a read of... Nope. No, they don't. Morbid's going to be able to go down. Tried to clear the corner, but gets shot in the face first. Going to be going down there. Clark getting a little bit of contact on B main, but players are going to decide to back off. This Killjoy lurking up all the way on A and might have site control, but this Molly having a little bit of safety there. And there's the turret. That spots one player, and I think the plan is to retake here once again, and that's something we've seen a lot this map, but
they do have the numbers advantage this point. Playing, it looks like trying to get down Curse, just waiting for teammates. Rotation there in Heaven. Gonna get smoked off though by that enemy jet. It's now a 5v4 retake, so they do have the numbers advantage, but it's hard when you're racing against the clock and they have positioning on site. And with that Uto, it's just hard to deal with.
A little bit of a team kill there, but Creep not gonna be able to get quite out. It's stunning one of the initiators there, stunning Creep on the... Wait, who got stunned there? Salzy. Oh, it's throwing me off to see the jet not be Sunsari.
I can see it throwing me off too.
Yeah, Salzy got stunned on the way in.
But this is so fun. The little Salzy Sunsari switch up. I'm having fun watching. I'm sure they're having fun playing. It looks like it. That was just a little bit unfortunate, and it is hard to play retake, especially with all that utility and having to get on site. A lot of Haven is these close corners, and it's really easy, I think, if you're a good team, if you're set up on site and you hold your crosses and where you're supposed to be, hard to deal with. Curse just gonna get baited out there a little bit, and that is going to give them this open C site again to play. And once again, Point Park Esports back on that retake.
And yeah, unfortunately, like, it's almost as if we're seeing the same play after 3 rounds straight, and Salzy going to go down trying to invest those knives there. You know, it is a valuable ult there if you can get a few picks. Creep getting 2 picks as we speak, and 2v3, it is doable for Point Park. Sunsari finding one, trying to find a second, gets that one. The dart goes out, trying to get that last pick. They know that player is going to be long. One player is going to have to stick here while the other tries to fight it. And Kizuna with a nice clutch to grab both of those players and forcing that fight. Not playing time, but winning the round.
No, I mean, those were nice shots from Kizuna at the end there, but those were even nicer shots during the round from Sunsari, and Creep, unfortunately, just not able to get Kizuna there in the end, and that is going to be another round ultimately on the board for the medics. Nice try overall by Point Park. What do you think, though, Ari? It seems they did have that the one round early, and it seems like a lot of their potential to possibly win some of these rounds is coming down to nice shots, which again, this is a gun game. At the end of the day, it is about shooting heads, but there's so much more that goes into it. So what do you think is something that they could change that gives them a better just kind of footing in that round?
Oh, the ult's going to be invested right off the bat, and one tag, not going to be able to get the second one just quite yet. I wonder if that was Celsi, that pick would be converted. We will never know. But that shock dart going to be landing just a little bit, taking down that KJ to very, very low HP. It would be handy to have a medic right now.
It would indeed be handy to have a medic, but unfortunately we only have 4 medics left. But not so unfortunate for Point Park. Have that numbers advantage, and medics struggling to make their way up site, but Celsi going to make the call that, hey, there's a lot of people A. Looks like teams just kind of holding on to site, and maybe that's what they needed to do a little bit better. We'll see how this round pans out, but Celsi all alone. They're going to find one before going down to Hayden, but Sunseri there, right with not only the trade, but is going to get Kazuna as well. It is now all down to Morbid, who is going to find Sunseri. Still 3 more.
Nice.
Clark,
I like that util there.
I like that util there as well. Clark going to find that last kill. Point Park going to be able to defuse, and that is another round on the board for the Pioneers.
Well, no defuse because no plan.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They didn't get that plan down.
And
even better.
That's the big thing, I think, was...
That is. They weren't playing retake. They were
exactly
holding or defending site, I guess.
Right, and especially with the Killjoy. You know, you have this Killjoy util on a site, so you know that chances are there's no lurk. With this playstyle for medics, I almost want to see this Killjoy rotate over to B, have that control of garage, and have that control of maybe B site, and you need one player on A site, and you can have the rest on seed, or, you know, vice versa, depending on where you think those players are hitting. But there's the retake situation again. You know, even though the Killjoy setup's there, they're playing off site, and you know, it is a strategy, and Point Park definitely wants to play. Ooh, I like this, but
updraft into the ult into heaven. Sunseri not ready for that one, and I don't think I would have been either.
I think he was aware, but not quite ready with the crosshair placement.
Not ready with the crosshair placement, especially when, you know, they have that shotgun there. I tend to agree. I think there is a lot of value in retake if you can retake as a team, but I think you still have to read the game and read the situation, and I think if Point Park's able to hold site a little bit better, they won't have to retake.
Yeah, I mean, Point Park has been going down when it comes to these retakes, and obviously the call here is to save and try and get out with these 2 guns, but with this Sova ult and this Breach ult online for the next round for medics, you have to imagine they're going to be going C, and maybe that was the big thing of what Point Park was stacking C here this round.
It might have been, and I don't think that's a bad call necessarily, but maybe, you know, medics did have their read, like, hey, we do have these ults online, that would do great on C, maybe they're going to stack C, let's see if we can go A and kind of hold on to those ults to try for another round, and that might be exactly what they're doing here. 1 ult was invested though by the medics, and that was their jet with the knives there. That did find a little bit of value there.
Well, and the bigger thing that we've always kind of been seeing is you always get that jet dash out with that breach flash and the breach stun on site. So if you don't see that util on your site, chances are they're not hitting. So if you don't see that jet or that breach, you know, see, there's the stuns. You know that's a full hit on B, and Creep knows that and does not want to contest that. It looks like as there's the drone to get out the initial tag, and it looks like they are playing this retake, trying to play Plant Denial. Morbid going to be picking up Clark, and Kazuna picking up Curse as well. So 2v5 here, or 3v5 here, 3v4 here. Celsi picks up the first one in spam and wallbang, and that bomb is down. Creep with a nice shot of his own, evening the score 3-3. That Sova ult, though, is still going to be a very big problem here.
It is a huge problem. And you know, they also have that Breach ult online, which is a little bit different when you're talking about post lane, but it is strong enough to knock you off. And you know, ooh, Morbid with a nice shot there on Celsi. Now all down to Creep. Going to find one, but not another. Morbid with a nice 4K that round. And now it's 7-2.
Yeah.
Medics.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of similar thing that we keep saying is I would love Point Park to be playing on site a little bit more and trying to dump a little bit of util into these hits, because I've noticed this just with Point Park's kind of gameplay all year is that you kind of give up the site, not for free, you know, obviously they're assuming that this team is going to invest a lot of util, but here's the thing. Medics have not faked a site yet. So I like to think that until they fake a site, you can just believe that wherever they're going is wherever they're hitting. And so you just kind of have to stick to it. And here we go. There's the A hit, the A util. Keep hearing the noise, and that's everybody rotating, and it's like they heard me almost, but nope. Nobody out yet, so the call is to wait just a little bit. Drone coming out, 2 players out, smokes out, Jets out, everybody's out here. And this is a cut noise play. Because Point Park have not been over-rotating, the round they decide to over-rotate is the round where the fake happens. So, I mean, that's unlucky.
That is unlucky, but you know what? It's okay to have a bad read every once in a while as long as you're kind of communicating and critically thinking about the rounds. And that's huge! I was nervous for both sides for a little bit, and that could have gone either way. Creep now definitely needs a medic, but is going to find one. Point Park in that numbers advantage 4-2, but still 2 ultimates online, and Hayden and Aesthetic going to close that gap real quick now in a 2v2, and it looks like Bomb is going to go down on that B site.
And you know, 2v2 here, both players spotted B main, so the original play was kind of to, one ult forcing both players to the side. Does get spotted, but now positioning in favor of Sunseri. This Sova ult probably going to be invested, but the half gets there and gets headshot on the way out. Hayden aware.
I mean, that was a nice try, and then they did have the timing there, but yes, you're right. The Sova ult was still online, didn't even need to use it because they still had a little bit of that breach util, and I like the play there. I'm wondering if maybe... I think in that situation, it might have been better not to just peek into 2, but to play back and reposition maybe at an off angle or something, because you did get it half and you know you have that time, and I don't know if they quite were able to hear that, but that's a tough situation. And I think, you know, played it the best they could. But that is going to put this scoreline now at 8-2. Pioneers do need to start winning a couple rounds to really have a chance going in. I think they do have a chance on the offensive side, but it looks like this is going to be more retake from the Pioneers.
You know, I was just thinking in my head, we haven't really seen a lot of Point Park flanks, and there's one.
There it is.
And that
jump scare.
that drone definitely spotted one, but Morbid and Aesthetic and Kizuna, everybody landing their shots today. Roland as well. Roland getting their pick, and Kizuna's going to be able to grab that. A flawless. It was, you know, kind of an eco buy there, buy for next, but now it's up to the guns. The 9-3 in play for the half, possibly.
Possibly. And I think definitely, you know, Point Park had a little bit of a save there, so they should be able to get guns now.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
Do you have the chance of bringing it to that scoreline for the half?
I mean, you're thinking, okay, we got 2 ults here. It's gotta be using this breach ult. Ideally, I don't want to see a retake. As much as, you know,
I don't want to see a retake. I think they've been having trouble with retakes.
As much as it may be the right or wrong play, depending on, you know, statistics, just in terms of how this game has been going and flowing, I feel like.
Yeah, I think any stall potential they have, because, yeah, even if, you know, you get one off, if you can get that rotate in before you have to retake, definitely has a better shot. Looks like this is going to be a B hit. And the problem... Ooh, Roland...
Oh, the shorty play!
Oh,
not gonna get anywhere.
Not gonna get creep.
Creep getting ready for the ult, and here's the retake play that we talked about. This Brim ult online though, pinched on sight though. Brim spotted, so now 1v2, and Morbid lands the shots on the first. Both players 1 HP here. This is gonna be a really, really tough one, and Morbid's gonna come out with a clutch. 10-2 medic at half.
You know, I mean, that was close. I mean, that in an alternate universe could definitely have gone to the Pioneers. But, I mean, if you just look at their faces, that energy they had at the beginning is slowly dying down. And I don't blame them. You know, I definitely feel the same way when I'm in those games. But I think if we even look to a couple rounds back, they started to let that get to them. And that might have been the difference, because the rounds they were winning or were coming close to were coming down to these hero shots. And now... that's not a fun scoreline for anybody to look at, but you know, that does kind of make you a little bit less confident or aggressive in your shots. And now going onto this offensive side, they're gonna have to go fast. and they're going to have to hit their shots. I mean, really from here on out, if they let the medics get this pistol round, and you know how pistol rounds have historically gone for the Pioneers. They've won a few. They need to win this one right here.
I think Crystal Ware, but not able to land the shot. The trade not even there, as Morbid's going to get an extra one before going down. And Sunseri going to be able to get this plant down on C. So that is important that the Smokes player did go down for Medic, as you can play from C long here if you do so wish. You can have that spam, that stall, but it is a pistol round, so you do have to be a little bit more cautious. And Sunseri getting shot in the back. Selzy there to trade, but now in a 1v2, and the double swing is going to be there to convert the round for Medic.
That was close. I think what might have been the nail in the coffin there was not getting that trade right out of garage until Creep got it. But of course, Morbid getting that one extra one before that came in, that really hurt them as far as the player advantage or disadvantage in the case of the Pioneers. And of course, who was it? Was it Selzy or Creep? I think just looking the wrong way there.
I believe it was Sunseri on the Sova.
I think it was, yes, Sunseri on the Sova, but just not looking the right way.
Yeah.
And just heartbreaking, but that was a close round, and it looks like they might be making the call here to force up, which I don't think is a bad decision necessarily.
I definitely like that call.
I like that call as well.
Ooh, and I like that call for the alarm bot as well, to be aware that that player is not in, but that turret doing a lot of damage. Selzy going to be able to take out Kizuna though, and that should be free sight. And now pushing out here, trades going in favor of Point Park for now, and there's the shots, and that looks like, yep, they're going to pivot to A. It's the smart call. You know, Brim played in garage last round with nothing but a shorty, and that's all it looks like he's going to be having here right now.
Yeah, it looks like is going to be able to, though, if he so chooses, pick up maybe a different gun, or he might just choose to stick with the shorty. Has now that Sheriff on hand and a Stinger to boot, but definitely going to be hard trying to defuse and being put in this 1v3 scenario. And I don't know if the Pioneers know that that cleared heaven all the way, but they definitely know now. Morbid on site, 1v2, going to still have those smokes online and is hunting for the last two, but Cursed is going to be able to clean that up with the Stinger. That was good. I like the force up there from the Pioneers.
Well, and I think the big thing this round, or this map against this kind of matchup here, is Point Park maybe struggling to kind of pick and choose which fights they want to take, and that's what's going to end up getting them, you know, caught in certain situations. You know, you saw with the Sunseri Sova play looking the wrong way, but that round pushing up a little bit was the right call.
I love the play. They had B, but then pushed up there into A, kind of pushing the Medic players back a little bit, and then the trades were coming out. They're playing together. I love that, and I want to see more rounds like that. I think they have it in them, but Morbid going to find 3 here.
At least 2. Ooh, but Clark picking up 1 is just not what you want to see there. And yeah, that was a rough round.
That was rough.
I mean, I definitely think Point Park thought Medic were going to be saving after they lose their eco round.
I think they thought that as well, but I think Medic made the right call. I mean, they definitely did not need to, and that'll bring them to match point. You know, they have the round differential that they can kind of play around with their economy a little bit if they want to. Medic's making the right call, and I mean, that was nice. Now, Point Park going to have to buy as much as they can every single round. Selzy only has a classic, but is going to have those knives online. Hopefully, is going to find a little bit impact, and it looks like they are going to rush here. See long, not going to see anything and getting smoked off immediately, but still going to push in and persevere.
Ooh, the drive swing through the smoke, and full blind is going to be able to get Selzy. Morbid also getting the alt kill, and that is absolute shambles as that Spike is also down. Roland also grabbing it, and now they know they have Spike, but Morbid with the disrespect swinging out of every single smoke. The blob peak on the next one. Morbid with 3, looking for this last 4th one. Not going to get it, but that kill will finally go to Ascetic. 13-3 is going to be map score. Medic taking this one down.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're up by 9 rounds, and you know this makes it 10, you're allowed to kind of swing out of smokes. You're allowed to kind of play a little bit for cheese there. You know, you have the rounds to play with, and I think I liked what I saw from Point Park. I really liked that force-up. I think there's a couple of things that could have contributed to this. One, medics were seated higher in the seedings, and that's always tough to go against.
Even if you don't know why they're seated higher.
Even if you don't know why, I mean, they were seated higher and they played like that. Two, now, what are your opinions, Ari? What do you think the Sunseri Celsi swapping roles? Do you think that contributed to it? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think overall in terms of the util usage, you kind of saw the same things. However, I do think that confidence was slightly a factor there because of that switch up.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I feel like we didn't have Sunseri just exploding out, going for those flakes constantly and trying to get that extra space.
And I think that is part of it. I mean, we also had, and I think, first of all, I think the entire Point Park Pioneer roster, they're all great, and I think any of them can definitely fill any role. I mean, we saw that it didn't go the way they wanted to, but as far as how you're playing the character, everyone's playing the character as they should. But you're right. Celsi, isn't typically on that duelist, and Sunseri does just go in there. On the other hand, Sunseri there on the Sova knows where to maybe place the darts, but isn't playing off of them the same way that Celsi would.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily about that, but it's just that everyone plays the character differently.
Exactly.
And so, when you do, a certain swap like that, maybe your team's not quite used to it. I don't know how much they've been practicing that kind of swap up in scrims and practices.
Yeah, but I love that the fact that they're utilizing a tournament like this Whiteout tournament right here to test that out. I think that's exactly the time you should do it. You don't want to maybe do this during the league when you're still feeling things out. And I do think it took a while for them to kind of get into the groove of this different thing, but they did. There were some close rounds. They won a couple the first half. I love that force up. There were some unfortunate rounds, and I think there are a lot of things that contributed to that. Their mental kind of got shot a little, and I don't blame them. I mean, mine would too, but when they were at the beginning, when they were playing confidently, maybe they weren't in their groove. But if they were able to get in the groove and play as confidently as they did in the beginning, I think we could have seen a different scoreline. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about those, the final scoreline being 13-3, I believe. And those first two rounds that they won, we said were a lot of nice shots. Yep. And then that third round being the catching the other team off guard. And, as much as like seeing those kind of things converting you rounds, you do want to have a way for you to convert rounds more consistently. And, that struggle might have been there today.
I agree. But I think, I also think some things that might have, one, I think they needed to win that pistol round on the second half because, okay, they forced up, but they would have been able to buy up. And then losing that third round, the first half, maybe would have just kind of reset the economy. But I'm just excited we got to see the Pioneers play again. Yeah. To be honest.
Yeah, I enjoyed my Point Park Valorant experience today.
Oh, that might be my Point Park Valorant experience, at least up here on the casting desk for the year. Actually.
Are you done?
Well, no, for the semester.
Well, right? Okay, for the semester, not the year.
2020.
Okay, we're doing that
year.
game. Okay.
No, it's the year. Okay. We're coming back after next year.
Okay.
Not school year, but certainly calendar year.
Yeah.
But this isn't our last time for the year.
I was gonna say, you're not leaving me, right?
It's all because of Ari.
I was gonna say, who am I gonna cast with? I mean, I have, because not Mason.
Mason was observing today, actually.
But Mason's gone after the semester.
And, well,
Tears.
Well, Ari could certainly cast both sides. Oh. Just need one Red Bull. Anyway, we are not done, though, as far as an organization for the rest of the semester or calendar year. We do have some fun things coming up. We have a little bit of a party coming up soon. I'm definitely going to have some stuff over the holidays before we come back to January. So make sure you're following us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
Which we are doing a little video shoot soon. So keep your eyes posted over the holidays and make sure you're seeing those videos coming out.
So we have some fun things coming up I believe, though, unless we have another fun last-minute tournament, that's all for the Pioneer Valorant team, and of course for Ari and I up here on the desk. But we hope to see you guys again soon. That was a great game, and definitely make sure to follow us, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace out, everyone.